Hello. For this assignment, I chose the book Goodnight Moon. I actually picked this one first, and then I also had Brown Bear as a backup. My little boy and little girl both adore this book. Um, but I've actually got two copies of Goodnight Moon. Um, when I was pregnant with my son, instead of cards, we did books. And it was a really awesome, great thing that come about. And we ended up getting some really nice books at the baby shower. And then I also did that with my daughter. And it was one thing that I think I'll treasure for a long, long time. But um, I guess I was picking this book for this assignment. This one immediately caught my attention, and it had been a while since I had read it. I had read it previously at my job as a daycare teacher, and then when I had my little boy, it was like the memories all came rushing back to me. And I guess what I love most about this book is the simplicity of it, and also it's a perfect nighttime read. But it starts out, and the colors are very, very unique and vibrant, very simple. When you open it up, it starts as you let me see. As you can see, the little bunny is right here about to get ready for bed, and it just goes through his nighttime routine. And it talks about how he's trying to turn off the noise and the sounds and the things in his room. And it goes on through, and some pictures are black and white, and you can even see how it brings back up fairy tales like the cow jumping over the moon, and there's the three little bears. And then it repeats like black and white, then color, like a pattern of sorts. See, if you can flip on through. But the uniqueness of it is it follow as it goes through the book. It's just talking about the small things that kids are developing as they grow throughout the night or throughout their age, like the comb and the brush, tear laying by the bed, and then mush. To me, would be like oatmeal or cereal that they may have at night before they go to bed to fill up their tummies. And then the old lady in the corner whispering hush. And I'm kind of guilty of telling my little boy, I'm like, shh, hush, it's bedtime. And then it shows the whole room again. And it even says good night room. And then good night moon. And again, good night cow jumping over the moon. Good night light. And the red balloon. It's pretty simple as it goes through, but to young minds, I see the simplicity of it now as I've grown up. But at the time, I just thought it was pretty neat and cool that some were black and white and some were color. And now that I've read this to my little boy as one of my favorites growing up, he's kind of enjoyed. He'll usually go and pick this one at least 2 or 3 nights out of the week, just because it's repetitive, and he started to pick up on the words. Good night kittens and good night mittens. Good night clocks and good night socks. And that's another thing. The socks, he knows, my little boy does, that he puts his socks on at night and sleeps in those. And sometimes he gets too hot and he doesn't want to sleep in those. And then good night little house and good night mouse. Good night comb and good night brush. Good night nobody. Good night mush. And then good night to the little old lady whispering hush. Good night stars and good night air. Good night noise everywhere. This is a great little book. It's one that I know has been around for a long time. I think the copyright date was 1947, and I think it's like a true classic that you can't really get tired of. That's so simple at a beginner's level, or even at bedtime routine. It's nothing scary, or even the pictures aren't scary. And I like how the author goes from color to black and white, and even talks about just peaceful, calm, repetitive stuff. So it's one of my favorites. I guess for me, I can't really remember a time whenever I just realized I loved reading. I've always liked to talk, my mom said. Sometimes just I wouldn't even be quiet. And I think as I got older, books were an outlet for me to like let my imagination kind of talk to itself. My most memorable moment, though, I do remember in 5th grade, I got a library card, and I thought it was really cool that you could go to the library and rent movies for free. But what I thought was really cool at the time with the movies, then in turn ended up being it almost reminds me of that Beauty and the Beast movie where Belle gets a library full of books, and she's so kind of like excited and thrilled. She doesn't even know where to begin. And that for the public library was for me. Just I had an outlet of so many books, ranging from, little kid books like this, all the way up to adult, or a series, or fictional, non-fictional, romance, drama. I'm a really bad sucker for romance novels. And then the other thing I can remember thinking of would be accelerator reader in school. And I'm a pretty competitive person, so the more books you read, the more points you get, and then the more prizes you earn at the end of the year. So that was probably the other memorable kind of onset to really reading. I didn't read too much at a young age. I know my mom did to us. There was 3 of us. I have a younger brother and a younger sister. And our bedtime routine, which I've kind of instilled that in my kids now, is that, after bath, we each get to pick a book. We read those books, and, then it's nighttime. And I guess that's why my love for this one came, because it fits for the nighttime, because it even says Goodnight Moon. And my little boy knows what the moon is. And he picks this one, like I said, quite often. So, yeah. I guess that's pretty much sums it up.